Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, so please stand for our prayer. Okay, please take your seat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Say present if your name is called. Miss Reyes.
Present.
Ararao.
Present.
Garcia.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome po.
So before we proceed into our lesson, let's have a short recall or recap about parts of speech. How many parts of speech are there? You remember?
8, ma'am.
Okay, very good. There are 8 parts of speech. And what are those? Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb,
Adverb. Preposition.
interjection, and conjunction. Okay, very good, class. So now I will construct a sentence here. So for example, okay, here. Jane prepares a breakfast for her sister. So can you identify where is the subject here or the noun? So the noun here is
Jane.
okay, very good, Jane. And Jane is okay. Let's not go to it. So Jane is the noun, and our verb here is the noun or the subject, huh? Jane is the noun or the subject. So what is the verb here? So verb is the action word, right? What?
Prepares.
Okay, very good. It is the prepares. This is the verb. So now, since Jane is a singular, she's only singular because Jane is only one, right? Singular, si Jane is singular, and the verb is also singular because the verb agrees with the noun Jane, which is a singular. So do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So this sentence is a singular sentence. So let's have another sentence. Okay, here. James and the squad were dancing. So which of this sentence is the what do you call this? The noun or the subject?
James.
Okay, it's not only James, but James and the squad. This is the subject, and which is a plural because James is not the only one who is included or involved in this situation. It's James and the squad. The squad, okay? They are 2. So it is plural. So our verb here is the word were. Okay? Why is it were? Because the noun is a plural, so it must be plural too. Because if it is a singular, if the noun is singular, then the used word here must be was. But since it is a plural, so it must be verb because it is plural noun. So do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's jump into our main topic for today. Okay. Are you familiar with the subject-verb agreement?
No, ma'am.
Well, subject-verb agreement is something like the rule of constructing a sentence. So, subject-verb agreement, or the SVA, means that the subject, and the verb, must agree with, or must agree in number. So in a sentence, the subject and the verb must agree in number. They must be agree in number. So it means if the subject is singular, the verb must be the verb must be singular too. So if the noun is, or the subject is plural, the verb must be plural too. So do you get the main point, or the main definition of subject-verb agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. But you have to take note of this. So in present tenses, noun and verb form plurals in opposite ways. Meaning, in present tense, the verb add s to the singular form, but noun remove an s from the singular form. So says, for example, like this one. So the horse runs faster. Where's our subject here? It's the horse, right? And the verb here is the runs. As you observed, so this is a singular and singular. As you observe, horse is a singular and the verb is a singular too. But as you can see, there is an s. There is an s, right? When a verb has an s on it, it means the noun is singular. It means that verb is singular too. But if the verb has no s, just like this, the horses run faster. Horses is a plural. Run is a plural. So it's something like opposite, right? Right? It's an opposite.
Yes.
The singular of the verb has an s, while the plural verb has no s. Okay?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So take note, if the noun is singular, the verb must be singular too,
Okay.
in which there is an s.
Okay.
If the noun is plural or the subject is plural, the verb must be plural too. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So now, let's proceed to the rules of subject-verb agreement. So, I lost my chalk. Where's the chalk? Here. Okay. The first rule in subject-verb agreement is number one is phrase or clause between subject and verb does not change the number of the subject. So, for example, the officials, who went to the meeting, to the meeting were bored. So here, our noun here, or the subject, is the officials. So, as said here, the phrase or the clause between subject and verb does not change the number of the subject. So, phrase, here, the phrase or the clause where it is in between the subject and the verb, so this is the verb, and the verb is the who went to the meeting. So, even if there is a clause or phrase between the verb and the subject, the number of it doesn't change. So, the officials, the noun or the subject officials is a plural. So, since it is a plural, it should not, or it must be not change, or the verb must not change into singular, but it is still a plural. It does not change. It does not affect the number of the verb, or it does not affect the number of the subject. If there is a clause or a phrase between the subject or the verb. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the second rules of to call this subject-verb agreement is the indefinite pronouns as subject. So indefinite pronouns. So these are the both, someone, somebody. Ano pa ba? What else? Somebody or everybody. So those are indefinite pronouns. So indefinite pronouns as subjects. So here, someone, for example, someone does the dishes. So this is the indefinite pronoun. So this is an indefinite pronoun. So someone is a singular, right? It is a singular, not a plural. So someone does. So the word does or the verb does is also a singular. It agrees with the indefinite pronoun or indefinite subject singular. So since the subject someone is singular, the verb must be singular too. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How about this one? In plural form. Okay. Both do the dishes. So when we say both, these are two. There are two people here involved in this situation, right? Or in this sentence. So since there are two of it, this is a plural. So our verb must be plural too. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you really paying attention?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Someone is a singular, while both is a plural. So, if the noun or the subject is singular, the verb must be singular too. So, both is a plural, so the verb must be plural too. Okay, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let's proceed to the third rule of subject-verb agreement. So, compound subjects joined by or nor, the verb must agree with the subject nearer to it. So if a subject has a word or nor, the verb must agree with the subject nearer to it. So for example, either the leader or the members sweep the floor. Here. Okay. I'm sorry. Here. There is a compound subject. No. So, in this sentence, or is included or joined. So, meaning, our subject here is the leader and the members. So, since the nearer subject to the verb sweep is a plural, the members, the verb must be plural too, because the near subject to it is the members, not the leader. So leader is a singular. It is a singular. And the members is a plural. So since the members and the word members is the near subject to the verb sweep, and which is a plural, the verb must be plural too. Do you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope so. Okay. So now let's proceed to the fourth rule of subject-verb agreement. Inverted subjects must agree with the verb. Okay. The fourth rule is inverted subjects must agree with the verb. So for example, inverted meaning inverted. Something like it's exchanged. Here. There are lot of bears in the zoo. Here. Which is our subject here?
Bears.
Okay, bears. And bears is a
Noun.
Yeah, it is a noun or a subject. Is it a plural or singular?
Plural.
Okay, very good. It is a plural. And our verb here must be our verb here is the word are. Unlike our sentences, example sentences earlier was that the arrangement is the noun comes first before the verb, right? So in this rule, the verb comes first before the noun. So since the noun is plural, the verb must be plural too. Here, inverted subjects must agree with the verb. So this is the inverted subject. So the verb must agree with the verb. So since our verb is are, our subject must be plural. Must be plural, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, in the fifth rule of subject-verb agreement, it states here that collective nouns can be plural or singular depending on its meaning. So here, let's have... Okay, what do you mean by collective nouns? Okay, here in my book. So collective noun is used when referring to a group of people or things, meaning a group. So it states, for example, here, the team is looking for members. Here. So the team here is the subject, right? So our verb here is the is. So is a singular. So team is a collective noun. So it is a singular. So since it is a singular, the verb must be singular too. So do you understand, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's proceed to the sixth rule of subject-verb agreement. So the sixth rule of subject-verb agreement is titles of single entities are always singular. So, for example, the story, the three ducklings. Is my favorite. So here, our subject here is, okay, our subject is here, the story, which is the three ducklings, right? This is our, what you call this? This is our subject, and our verb here is. Why is it still is, even if it ends with a plural ducklings? No, it's still singular because here, titles of single entities. So this is a title. This is a title, so this must be singular and will be followed by a verb which is also a singular. It's always singular when you talk about the title. When you construct a sentence with a title and your subject is the title of a story or movie or song or what, it's always singular, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the seventh rule is the plural form subjects. There are three under it. Plural form subjects with a singular meaning takes a singular verb. So since if it is a singular meaning, it always takes a singular verb. So for example, politics. Politics. Oh my god. Politics is my favorite subject. here. Politics. If you can see politics, it seems like a plural, right? But since it is a subject, it is a singular. It is a singular because it is a subject and only one. It's only one subject. Politics is my, which is the verb, and still singular, is my favorite subject. Politics is a singular and is a singular, and the verb is must be singular too. It's still a singular because it is a subject and it is only one. Okay, so but when we say the politics of the situation, the politics of the situation were complicated. Here, the form politics here is now a plural. So since it is a plural, our verb, which is the were, is or must be plural too. It's not a singular now. It is now a plural. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next under of the plural. So plural form subjects with singular or plural meaning take a singular or plural verb. It depends on the meaning. So states, for example, so says, for example, the news so the news is all about corruption. News is not a plural. Okay? It is a singular. It's always singular if it is a singular. It's not that always. So since it is a singular, our verb must be singular too, which is the is. The news is all about corruption. So it's only talk to one. News. The news. The news is a singular. So it means the verb must be singular too, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next one is that with plural meaning, plural form subjects with plural meaning take a plural verb. So for example, the scissors are on the desk. Scissors here. Scissor. If you say scissors, it is plural because the singular form of scissors is scissor, right? So this is a plural and this is our noun or the subject here in the sentence. And our verb is the are, and which is a plural. It is also plural because it agrees with the subject scissors, which is also a plural. So do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So let's proceed to the last rule of subject-verb agreement, which is the here. with subject and subjective complement of different number, the verb always agree with the subject. This is the important rule of subject-verb agreement. Something like important. It's always the verb always agree with the subject. So for example, okay, burgers are my favorite. So here, which is our subject here? Which is the subject?
Burgers.
Okay, very good. Burgers. And a burgers is a plural. And our verb is are. And which is also needs to be plural because our subject is plural, right?
Yes.
So do you understand the rule of subject-verb agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now let's have a short practice about our lesson today. Okay, please read the number 1. Please. Andrea puts glue on her paper. So, which is our subject here?
Andrea.
Okay, Andrea is our subject, and Andrea is a
Noun.
singular, right? It is a singular. Okay, so the parenthesis here is our verb. So which must be our verb here?
Puts.
Very good. It is puts because puts is a singular verb. It must be singular verb because our subject is
Singular.
very good. Next one.
Addison and Claire were sleeping.
So what is our subject here? It's
Addison and Claire.
very good. And these are
Plural.
very good. So what must be our verb here? Please. What would be?
Where?
Okay, very good. It is where because was is a singular. It does not agree with our subject which is a plural. So it must be where. And the last one. Measles is a disease. Our verb here is, which is a singular. So which of here is our subject? Where?
Measles.
Measles? No, because it is measles because a measles it is here in the rule number 7. Plural form subjects with a singular meaning take a singular verb. Measles, there's no word measles. The measles is a singular. It's a singular. It has a singular meaning. So it must be measles. Measles is a singular, and the verb must agree with a singular subject, and the verb must be singular. So do you understand now our lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, since you have now understood our lesson, kindly distribute these test papers. Please answer that in 20 minutes rather. Please answer and read carefully our directions there. Okay, please pass your papers. Okay. Thank you so much. I guess that's all for today, class. Thank you so much for your participation and for listening. Thank you. Bye. See you around.